Hey, what's up, Couch Potatoes? We are back with another weekly wrap-up. We do apologize for the delay. There was kind of a hurricane that was flying over the house when we would usually do the weekly wrap-up, but better late than never. Patience, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. The hurricane was a lot of bluster, no bite, thankfully, gratefully, at least for us. I know there's other parts of Texas that were not as lucky, so...
Even though we lost power and we couldn't, do all these things we're going to talk to you about now. But we've been lucky, and since then we have gotten back into the swing of things. And let's begin, guys, by talking about some movie news. They dropped the trailer today for Ridley Scott's Gladiator 2. Now, I'm going to say up front, I love the movie Gladiator. That's one of my top 20 movies of all time, probably. I've watched it more times than I can count. I adore it. Wasn't really asking for this. My question is, did anyone ask for this movie to be made?
I don't think when Gladiator ended, I was like, I can't wait to see what happens next. Like, yeah. I don't think it
was
begged
Max's
for a sequel.
Journey, yeah.
So, but having watched the trailer, I'm not mad.
Look, no one does a historical biopic or just a historical epic like Ridley Scott does. And so he's back, so, I'm back as well because of that. So, of course, I'll watch it. I'm just not going to it with high expectations, but it's just like, oh my God, is Pedro Pascal not in something? I mean, this guy isn't like everything. Like, I don't really know much. Only returning characters I can see is Lucilla and Lucius, obviously. There might be more. I'm not sure. I haven't done any research on this except for the trailer that we watched once. But like I say, Denzel looks great for his age, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah, he does. Yeah, he looks great.
I don't mean it the way you mean it, but I also, I don't begrudge you for that. Yeah. No, I think that the action looks awesome. It looks grand in scale, as all things ancient Rome should be, I think. And it looks like they're not just going to be doing nothing but a bunch of member berries for Gladiator. They do, show parts. You got Maximus's his gladius, and you got his armor and things like that. But holy shit, it looked like it almost almost turned into 300 there with the rhinos at the end.
Oh, yeah, that was
so
pretty cool.
Awesome looking.
Oh, and filling the arena with water for the boat. That's really, there are some shots I think will be very interesting. I'll be really interested to know where we are in the Roman Empire's timeline.
So I don't know if this would get me out to the theater. It's one of those things where I say, these are kind of movies that I would still go to the theater to see. I think I need to hear, because for us guys, it's just, again, we've talked about this recently, getting a sitter, getting all that stuff for us to go see it. It's not easy unless I hear that it's something really awesome you need to see at the big screen. So if I hear really good feedback, I'll definitely go check it out on the big screen, because, again, Ridley Scott, his movies are huge and awesome when he's able to just kind of get free reign.
Gladiator the first one was so beautiful.
Yeah.
The scenes and the cinematography so beautiful.
And this doesn't look like I hope Hans Zimmer's come back for the soundtracks. That soundtrack's one of my favorite.
That's one of your favorites.
Hans Zimmer soundtracks. But again, it looks watchable. I mean, if it's just a fun action movie with people fighting in the arena, I mean, you've got my attention already.
At least from the trailer, it had the spirit of the first Gladiator. It didn't, and these long pauses in between movies is strange to me, but when it's a quick one, it just looks like a quick money grab.
24 years since Gladiator came out, which, oh my God, that's a long time. So I remember seeing this in the theater, but sure. Again, Ridley Scott, historical epic. I'm going to watch it. That's so I haven't watched Napoleon. The only reason I haven't watched Napoleon is because apparently there is some 6-hour director's cut that he made. I'm waiting for that. But I do want to watch it.
Why not both? But okay.
Okay, she's got lots of time. Just like they've got lots of time to make Shrek 5, guys. They announced this today. Shrek 5. It's July 2024 right now. They gave a release date of July 1st, 2026. So these are a little early to be announcing these things. But they've got the original trio back together with Mike Myers, Eddie Murphy, and, of course, Cameron Diaz. I can only assume that they're going to have Puss in Boots in there. They've got to, after Last Wish was such a big hit, right?
It was really a good movie. And I watched it with the kids. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I did too. I didn't see the post credits. Apparently, the post credits, Brenda was telling me that it does actually kind of have a hint about something.
Yes. We watched
about him going to the faraway land, and so they might be actually going back into that. I hope they can rediscover the magic, because one is still amazing. We watched it.
So good,
we watched it recently with the kids, and it's still great. It's still great. I still think 2 was very funny. 3 and 4 were big misses for me, and I didn't think the Puss in Boots movies were good. Except
3 and 4.
I did, because I kept thinking maybe they'll turn it around. Maybe 3 was just a bump in the road. Nope, 4 is even worse somehow. So I'm hoping they can rediscover the magic. I know that some people that were involved in making Last Wish are involved with this, so hopefully that same writing team will be involved. I want to say these originals wouldn't all be coming back, if it wasn't at least something decent. But paychecks are nice when you don't even have to put makeup or do your hair. You can just get behind a microphone, do it. Paychecks are nice, so you never know. But I think it would be kind of foolish not to have Puss in Boots in it, right?
Right.
I mean, why not? And I'm pretty sure Antonio Banderas is going to be like, nah, I don't like money. So who knows? Who knows? But I was actually really surprised to see it. And it seems like Eddie Murphy's having his moment right now again, huh?
Oh, yeah.
He's having a nice little comeback. Good for him. Good for him. We'll talk about Eddie here in a minute. We did review Beverly Hills Cop Axel F on the channel if you guys did miss that. Now, something you're not crazy about, I'll tell the people here, is horror movies. Now, when she met me,
Not
she was
my
like,
favorite.
no horror movies. We're not doing it. None. Unless it's like during the daytime in the summer when there's,
Yes.
like popcorn and ice cream.
And we can
involved.
watch a lot of Family Guy afterwards.
Yeah.
Gotta
Slowly
cleanse the
but
palate.
surely, I kind of got her there to where she'll watch not just at Halloween time now. And I think some of the movies that I got you into was The Conjuring series with Ed and Lorraine Warren.
Oh, that's such a sweet.
Yeah, because
it's such a
it is a love story with a
so
horror movie
sweet.
wrapped around it. Well, they have announced that the next, and I kept saying, as long as you've got those two actors who I love Patrick Wilson. I can't think of her name right now. It always eludes me, but she's fantastic. Those two together are just magic. They have such incredible charisma. And chemistry. I always say charisma. They probably have charisma too.
Yes.
But I said as long as you've got those two coming back, I was going to watch anything. But even when they have like a quick little hit in another one of the movies in the Conjuring universe, I'm there for it.
Yeah.
The next Conjuring film is going to be the last one. Now I'm not saying that they're not saying it doesn't mean that Ed and Lorraine can't show up elsewhere. They've got the Nun going. I imagine they're going to keep making Nun movies and Annabelle movies, and I don't know if they're going to do a sequel to La Llorona. They kind of try to pretend that one didn't happen. What is really, do you think, would be the horror legacy if this is going to be the last one? September 2025 is this release date. I think it'll be the last one. How would you say, because you look at a lot of horror franchises, and I know you're not as versed in horror as I am, sequels are almost always bad.
Yeah.
And I think Conjuring 2 might be better than the first one. It's really, really close. I think so. Devil Made Me Do It was fine. It wasn't my favorite outing of theirs.
Is that the one with the daughter?
That was the one with the possession. They go to the court with the guy that's possessed.
Oh, yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
So again, that's your worst movie. I'm thinking, okay, well, if this fourth one is really great, I gotta say this has got to be up there with some of the best horror franchises I've ever watched, because there gets a point with a lot of these horror franchises that I watch that they have more bad movies than good ones eventually. I think Scream's kind of been hit or miss. It's had some really good ones in some of the sequels. And it's had some really, really bad ones, And I know Scream is your favorite horror movie. That's why I wanted to bring that up. Nightmare on Elm Street, I mean, they just got hilarious at a point.
They got a little ridiculous.
Friday, do I even need to mention Friday the 13th or Halloween? Some of these are really, really, really bad.
What's the one, the found footage one where the odds are good and the evens are not? Where we like the odds. Remember, she's standing over him on the baby monitor.
Paranormal Activity.
Yes.
Yeah. We like the odd number ones when they always
Not
dealt with
the
the witch
even
stuff,
ones.
and then the even number ones were kind of a drag. But I don't think they compare. I mean, the Conjuring, I feel like those are all really bad. And I got to talk about just that universe overall, that shared universe. When everybody was chasing the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I felt like them and maybe the MonsterVerse are the only ones that really succeeded in having like a shared universe of movies. And regardless of how you feel about them overall, I feel like they're at least usually watchable. Like, we never have watched one of those movies. We haven't watched Nun 2 yet.
No.
But, and I heard it was kind of whatever. But I think that watching one of those movies, I never feel like, oh, that was a waste of my time to watch it. So, again, I think that's just a really good legacy. If that does turn out to be their last go with those two actors, I'm here for it. I really, really do.
I would have said that about Annabelle, except for Annabelle, the prequel makes Annabelle the original.
Yeah, Annabelle Comes
Worth
Home
it?
made the first Annabelle movie much better in hindsight, because it explained some of the things we were like, what does that mean?
I think the one they did with the daughter, where she broke into the room and her friends tried to bring her dad back. Do you remember this?
Are you thinking of that Ari Aster movie? Not the Hereditary. What was the other movie Ari Aster did? The one where they had like the cult in Sweden?
No, it was The Conjuring.
Was it?
Ed and Lorraine leave their daughter behind, and her friend comes over and tries to infiltrate the room.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, that was...
So even if Ed and Lorraine
I think that was Annabelle
not...
3? I don't...
Even if this is Ed and Lorraine's last movie, they definitely set themselves up to have a franchise.
Well...
To have... Like, they basically Cabin in the Woods, every artifact in there, so you could spin off any movie.
Yeah, I mean, in regards to how you guys feel about Ed and Lorraine Warren, they've got tons of cases that they could adapt. You know, they've went through the 3 biggest ones, you know, so far. And now they're going to but you look in that room is very real of all these artifacts. They could make these movies forever if they wanted to. But apparently this is going to be the last one. But for TV news, when I told you, hey, they're making a YouTube series of a sequel to Karate Kid, we were both like, whatever. And here we are all these years later, and Cobra Kai is probably one of our favorite shows.
It's so good.
It's so damn good. And I've said this should be the blueprint for all of these sequels that they're doing years and years later, and how to treat your legacy characters while introducing new characters and making them all feel worthwhile. I feel like it is the gold standard.
And since everything we've talked about has been sequels or remakes,
yeah, I mean, we just reviewed
really
Beverly Hills Cop, and I said it followed the Cobra Kai blueprint, which is, you know, don't disrespect your legacy characters, introduce new characters, make them interesting, give them their time, and you know, don't feel like you're taking away from either one. Well, Cobra Kai is entering its final season, and while I'm sad about that, I'm kind of annoyed. Why are they splitting this into 3 parts? Stop it, Netflix. What are you doing? So 3 parts. It's 15 episodes. It's going to be 5 parts apiece. I think part 1 is not this weekend, but the next. So we get the first 5 episodes. You get the next 5 episodes in September. And the last 5, they're just saying before the end of the year. So, I mean, what I understood with Stranger Things, they weren't done filming it yet. So I understood when they said they had to do that and come back for the last 2 episodes. They weren't done filming them yet. I get that. You don't want to wait that. I don't think there's a lot of post-production to be done on Cobra Kai. So they're just milking this, right? They're just milking it?
I couldn't tell you. I just give if it's recorded, if it's done, if it's ready, let's go. What's the holdup?
I mean, like I said, I get that if you've got like your calendar and you want to make sure you spread everything out to where nothing's burying something else or whatever, but I don't know, just breaking it up into 3 parts. This felt like when Harry Potter finally opened that can of worms, did a part 1 and part 2, and then every movie started doing part 1 and part 2.
For their finale, very unnecessary.
It just feels like they're opening that can of worms, and now I'm just like, Netflix, why not just go back to weekly? Just go back to weekly releases if this is really what you want to do.
Like House of the Dragon is doing.
Yeah, and we talk about it every week because of that. Look, besides that, I'm very excited for the show. Honestly,
I think it's so enjoyable, been great. So fun.
I can't think of a bad season of the show yet. You know, usually every one of these shows you have like, oh, that one season was kind of like, I don't feel like I've had that yet. Don't know where they're gonna go with it. They've actually made Terry Silver a great character, which is incredible. Because I remember we were talking, I was like, whoa, they've just completely made Karate Kid 2 a better movie for me. It's like, no way they could fix 3. They made 3 somehow better in hindsight. So this writing team is amazing, and this cast is so awesome. I love the young actors just as much as I love Danny and Johnny. I love Kreese. I love all these characters, man. They're just so damn good. And I can't wait to see how they conclude it, because it's been a heck of a ride, and it really does feel like the way you should do. If you're going to do a sequel this many years later, this is definitely the way that you should handle it. And you know, I guess that's an ultimate success story, right? Because you started on on YouTube. YouTube. Do you ever heard of YouTube Red? I think you said it sounded like a porn site when I said YouTube Red.
I think there is a RedTube branch of YouTube, but okay.
But then they got picked up by Netflix, and now it's a huge hit with a lot of people. And I felt like that was the thing, is like he didn't have enough people that were watching it, and that's how good it was. And people weren't watching it because it wasn't on a platform. So I'm glad when it got on Netflix, more people are watching it. And this final season is coming up. Speaking of Netflix. One of my favorite shows of all time, I've got the box set over there, is Lost. And Lost is on Netflix now, the entire series. And a lot of people have been like, should I watch it? I feel like I've heard the ending is bad. I don't feel like I should waste my time. And what I tell people is I have watched this series 4, 8, 15, 16, 23, 42 times, and it is still one of my favorite series ever. To me, I put the comparison of The Dark Tower. I didn't like the way that Stephen King ended The Dark Tower, but I would never take that journey away, because it is one of the best journeys I've ever went on. I feel the same way about Lost. So someone asked me, it's been 14 years since the finale. Have you softened on it? And I was like, to me, it wasn't just the finale. Just that last season let me down, I think. So do you think all these years later that last season would disappoint you a little less? Or would you watch the show again, I guess? I would
definitely watch the show again. I have fond nostalgia for Lost, because that's like when we were first dating. And come over.
We used to go to the movie theater and watch them down here at Alamo Draft House. Yeah, it was premiere. That big.
Yeah.
And I try to tell people, this is what, like, you see people like theorizing about Game of Thrones. It was nothing compared to this, man. I mean, I was going to Lostpedia. I was writing like thesis papers on what I thought some of these mysteries were. So it might be a little more, not as much if you can really fall down that rabbit hole, because you can binge it now because the whole series is there. You will want to binge it.
There's nothing that's not a
It was
cliffhanger.
hard because those cliffhangers were rough, you know. But I don't know. I would always recommend. It's got some of the best character work I've ever seen on TV.
Drive
And
shaft.
more like suck shaft.
Yeah, we still quote lines.
Yeah.
But here's my deal. I don't know that I ever really had a problem with the ending.
The ending itself.
I
no.
didn't have a problem with the ending. I had a problem with the fact that we were told it was not something very specifically when it actually was something.
But it
very
wasn't. But it
specifically.
wasn't. Oh my God. It's going to have to be a whole episode. It wasn't. People all the time like, oh, I don't understand the ending. So they were dead the whole time. No! That's not what the ending was. Oh my God. All right. Anyway. So there's lots to talk about still with Lost, I think. But yeah, I think it's worth your time. If you've never watched it, I'm envious of you getting to experience that for the first time. So again, some of the best character writing I've ever seen. And all these fantasy books.
I do think maybe there are some seasons that are meh, but
Oh, sure, but I
as
still
a
feel
whole,
like
it's a great series.
you think about this was network television when they were doing like 22, 24 episodes a
Yes,
season.
yes.
There's very little filler. I mean, people talk about the Nikki and Paolo episode. You know why they talk about that?
'Cause it's the
because
only
it
one,
was
yeah.
one of the few episodes that
Yeah.
weren't awesome. It's each episode kind of dives into the backstory of a character, and a few episodes go by, then you do another one, you'll return to that character and see
You know
more
what?
of it.
I don't think I
It's-
could watch again because I don't think I can take Kate again.
But you could take Sawyer again.
I could take and Guyliner. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys got to watch this show. It's so good. So if you haven't watched it yet, please do. It's really really damn good. And maybe you'll feel differently. Because the thing was, everybody I told them I'm disappointed with how Stephen King did with the book 6 and 7 of Dark Tower. And people watch it now or read it now and they binge it and they say they don't have any of those problems I have. Maybe you won't have those problems, but you didn't have to wait years between it.
The wait is.
And you didn't have to have
a
confirmation bias on all those thesis papers you wrote, kind of theorizing everything that was going to happen. I'm still pissed off about that 3-footed statue. I had so many damn theories about what was going on. That stuff. But yeah, Sawyer, John Locke, Robert Downey Jr.'s character of Iron Man. I swear to God, his personality was based off of Sawyer and Laws. We're giving everybody the nicknames, the super witty, sarcastic comebacks on everything. I very much saw a lot of Sawyer in Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man. So
that might just be some RDJ.
Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
He just like
That's-
Lost.
yeah.
Maybe he got lost.
No, I think that's just him.
But yeah, if social media had been as big while this show was on, you would have seen it going nuts because people were all over theorizing about that show. So that's all I kind of got for the news. How about just what are you up to? Gaming, TV, movies, etc. You doing anything right now?
Finished Abbott Elementary. That was on my little DVR to-do list.
What season is it?
Oh, that's such a good question. I
You don't
think
know?
3.
You just always do play the next one,
I
right?
just play next. Yeah, I think 3.
Was it
Everything
good?
ended how I wanted it to end.
Is it over?
No, it's not. The series
season,
is not over.
okay.
It's the season's over. And people got with who I wanted them to get with.
Okay.
People ended up
Your
in the job I
your
wanted them
shipping
to
all
be
worked
in.
out?
Oh yeah, yeah.
So this show doesn't make you cry though, right?
No.
Okay, because I remember, guys, when she used to watch This Is Us, I'd make sure I left because I didn't want to steal that from her. So when
It's cathartic.
she's watching shows that make her laugh and not cry. That's good for me.
It hits me in the feels, but it's not. It's a warm feeling. And then I kind of didn't have a show, but I was interested in The Patient.
What's that on? What service?
I believe it's on Hulu.
Okay, who's in it?
Steve Carell,
Okay,
and he's a psychiatrist.
is it comedy or?
No, it's dark.
Okay.
And so I was interested to see him play a dark, serious role. I do think he's a good actor. I do enjoy his stuff, but I was interested. And I'm maybe 2 episodes in. I'm. It'll probably be the rest of the summer show for me.
Okay, cool. I'm watching 12 Monkeys, liking it quite a bit. I'm almost done with season 1. Talked about it more over on Mike's Book Reviews. It's very, very smart writing. And when you start playing around with, all these time travel elements, you feel like you're just going to be picking holes through the whole thing. But no, it's every once in a while I'll be like, how does that work? And I'm like, actually it would. And they're actually very, very smart about it. And I've heard that Terry Matalas, who did Picard season 3, do the show, was saying that they had this whiteboard and they would draw these multiple timelines out and they had consultants there and they said it didn't work, they scrapped it and they started over and they had a beginning, middle, and end plan for the show. So almost on season
That's
1.
beautiful.
And now they're adding 2 time travelers into it. It's getting really, really hairy and I'm very, very excited. I only got 3 episodes
You know
left.
what's better than one time traveler?
Yeah, it's going to get real timey-wimey bonkers now and I can't wait for the paradox. It's going to be amazing when the paradox does finally happen. Playing Tears of the Kingdom because I didn't get to play it really the first. I did. When Breath of the Wild came out, we went nuts playing that. Kids were really, all we had was one at the time. Brendan, when he was very young, we put him to bed and we played from like 7 p.m. to like 1 a.m. on work nights.
Breath of the Wild, yeah.
Yeah. And so we plan to do that again when Tears of the Kingdom came out. Well, now that kid has grown up and he's a Zelda maniac as well. It just became hard for everybody. Yeah, it's my fault. It's my fault. It became hard for everyone to kind of share time on it, and they were all during the summer. I was not, so I was like, you don't have to wait for me. You can play it. I'll play my own later. So I started my own game, and it's dipping into my reading time quite a bit. It really, really is moving into just about everything. Because I think the other day I was like, if I'm hogging the TV too much, say so, because I'm just playing the heck out of it. Which is
strange because I'm cutting back on my gaming time because I'm reading a book right now.
Yeah, we're switching bodies.
I'm always reading, but it's interesting what'll take forefront for me if it's reading or crafting or gaming.
Great game, guys, but man, it will sink some hours. And we both watched Beverly Hills Cop, Axel F, which I said that we did review on the channel. But I just wanted to say that it did have 40 million views this first week, which, like I said, this should have been a theatrical release. Because say you take those 40 million views, say you cut it into a third. That's about 13, 14 million views. And you see each one of those people pay $10 to go see it. You just had a $130, $140 million opening right there. I still think they should have released this theatrically. It was that good. I felt like if they had actually test audience this and saw that people really did like it, because the feedback's been pretty good. Like, people like me who love it and people that are new to it did like it quite a bit. I think that was a big miss by Netflix, and I think that Netflix will eventually start doing that, start doing some drops in theaters. I think they will. At least hey, for the first 2 weeks or something like that, if you want it to be an event, I think that they could have. But again, hey, I'm happy for Eddie, because coming to America, no. And that's why I didn't have super high hopes for this, but I was very, very happy with it. And again, like I said, we did review the whole thing on the channel, and we've been singing the soundtrack like all week. My kid was doing the do.
Yeah,
he was doing
little,
that through a little
kazoo.
Nerves box.
Yeah,
he was doing that.
It was
adorable. The other day. So, it's always fun. They made a trailer. Netflix actually made a trailer for it that was based like an '80s trailer. It was really good. It was really damn good. So, quite happy with it. Right now, I consider the Beverly Hills Cop trilogy to be Beverly Hills Cop 1, 2, and Axel F. And I am very, very happy with that. But anything to add before we go? Anything you're doing this week that you haven't talked about? Anything on the plans?
Not that I can think of, or not anything especially that I'm looking forward to. I was playing Beat Saber last week, and there is a song that says like step to the left, step to the right, and it always was confusing to me because I have to step opposite, and I just realized it's because I play in left-hand mode, so everything is opposite. If you flip to right-hand mode, it matches.
No, everything's right. Left is the opposite because left-handers are weird.
Right.
Except Jimi Hendrix. Jimi Hendrix was awesome, but all the other left-handers are weird.
So I learned that if you play in left-handed mode, don't listen to the words of the music.
It doesn't have the lefty flip thing like Guitar Hero used to have. Remember Guitar Hero? Yeah, you used to have that lefty flip for it.
So, no, that's what I had on, the lefty flip, but it didn't change the song. So when the song's telling me step to the right and I'm stepping to the left, I'm like, is this stage right? Why isn't it matching? And it occurred to me, I'm like, I've been playing this game for a while, and it finally occurred to me, it's because you're in left-handed mode.
I don't VR, guys, because I got to wear glasses, and if I put that, I can't see anything, and I can't wear this, and it's just not for me. But hey, I'm glad that you guys are getting good exercise with the VR.
And that's,
Even though when both of them are playing on at the same time, I want to eject myself from the house.
Oh, the kid's not me, right? I don't say anything.
Oh, yeah. Only time you bother me is when I'm on the sofa reading and I hear on the floor right here because you're doing stuff.
Because we have squeaky upstairs.
Yeah, so first world problem. So, guys, what are you up to? What are you watching? What are you reading? What are you playing? What do you listen to? All those fun things and more. Drop in the comments and let us know, and we'll talk to you there.